This is a Stock Trading Reality Podcast, episode 78.
I took my time and I said, okay, I have to be patient and just continue learning in the meanwhile and watching videos and imagining I was doing it.
This is the Stock Trading Reality Podcast, where you get to see the realistic side of a trader's journey. Get inspired and stay motivated by everyday normal people who are currently on their journey to trading success. And this is your host,
who when asked DC versus Marvel would always choose Marvel,
Clay Trader.
Now, with all the movies starting to come out, I realize this may not be the best topic to talk about, but I promise I'm not trying to start some fan war or anything like that between Marvel and DC. But yes, for me, I'd have to choose Marvel. I've always liked Marvel more growing up. And DC, I feel like they have the hardcore ones, they got Batman and Superman, and everybody knows who that is. And then Marvel has kind of Spider-Man as their A-lister. But with the recent years, with all the movies and stuff coming out, I think Marvel's made a bit better of a jump. So yeah, as far as I'm concerned, I would be, in the camp of Marvel. But again, I still go and watch the DC movies and all that sort of good stuff. I don't read comics or anything like that. I've just gotten more into it from, all the movies over the past several years. But Chezz, who is our esteemed co-host, Chezz, I got to do a better job about introducing you. I just keep assuming that everybody knows who you are and that you're the co-host. But for any new listeners, Chezz is our co-host. And Chezz never knows what these fun facts are, just because that way we keep it as real as possible, and he's just kind of got to talk off the cuff. But are you a DC or Marvel person, or you just not even care?
I just don't even care, honestly. It's just something some of my friends were really into, kind of growing up, and it's just never that whole genre just never really appealed to me too much, to be honest with you. I was more the James Bond kind of action movie type things instead of comics and action heroes like that.
I remember we've had this conversation before, because I believe another fun fact was Wolverine is my favorite comic book character. And during that discussion, you brought up that you're more of a James Bond type guy. So
that's me.
Yeah, that sounds about right. So, man, we could have a comic book. That'd be kind of awkward, a comic book podcast where one guy doesn't even care about comic books. But this is not a comic book podcast.
I could just call you guys all nerds and laugh in the background. That would be my contribution to that.
As you play your video games, calling us nerds.
As I play my video games, yeah.
Yeah. So today I was pretty excited because I'll be honest, I don't research who we're doing, because that just destroys the whole purpose of this. I want it to be like we're sitting down having some coffee. So I had no idea who we were interviewing, and then IT Nate, who's the producer of the show, is like, yeah, we're interviewing somebody from Chile. I said, the country of Chile? And he said, yeah. I'm like, well, this is fantastic. So we were going international today, as I say a couple of times during the interview, and we were talking with Nicolas. I struggle with his name, but I asked him beforehand, how exactly do you pronounce your name? So he told me, so I'm trying to say it the best I can. But yeah, he is from Chile, and actually, I don't want to ruin some trivia that we have later on in the podcast. But a great interview, and I'm not going to lie, and I told him this on their interview, he did something that's, oh man, really embarrassing. And the worst part is it cost him. It was not good. I'll just leave it at that. So a very avoidable mistake that wasn't avoided, which hence brings on the embarrassment, but then kind of just the twofold it. It ended up being pretty costly too. So that he gets to that more towards the end of the interview. So definitely stick around for that. But a lot of good stuff to learn. He's a rare circumstance, and he's now going full time. So let's just get started on just hearing about the journey to going and becoming a full-time trader. Now, I want to make sure I say it right. Nicolas, right? That's how you say your name.
Yep,
Nicolas. I screwed it up. I had to ask him. But as you just heard about in the introduction, he is down in Chile, and he was telling us Santiago, Chile, which is the capital, right?
Yeah, the capital city.
And here's a little trivia for everybody. Chezz, we now have trivia. We have enough episodes where we can actually have trivia. That's pretty cool, huh?
Yeah, I guess we're adding trivia into the mix of these podcasts now. We're really branching out.
Yeah, so the trivia question here is, this is not our first guest from the country of Chile. We've had somebody else. And who is that other person? If you guessed Jose, congratulations. You are now an official Stock Trading Reality Podcast trivia buff, connoisseur. So, but yeah, I'm extremely enthused, extremely enthused. I'm excited that we're going international again, and going to talk with somebody down in the southern hemisphere. So, Nicolas, I'm gonna struggle with your name because that's just so. Is that going to be okay? I'm not going to offend you if I struggle.
Yeah.
Are we gonna,
No, it's gonna be okay. Maybe
okay, we'll still be amigos.
Yeah.
Okay, good. So tell us, where did you get started? Where did you even hear about the markets? And, kind of what piqued your interest enough where you're like, you know what, I want to actually put some of my money and, try my hand at this. So let's just start at the very beginning.
Yeah. I finished university and I went to a trip to Australia to try to study other things. I studied engineering. So I wanted I studied like cinema, how to make a web page and arts. So I went changing stuff. And then I came back to Chile and started working at advertising agency just to see how it was this world compared with the engineering world. And I discovered they paid very little money. And I started thinking about how could I make it grow. So in this train of thought, I came up with investments, and I talked with a friend of my dad, who is a doctor, and he makes he's always studying new things, and he introduced me to the investment world, and we started talking. I told him I don't know nothing about stocks, and I don't know what are they, what does it mean to have one stock, or I don't know, how do you make money out of it, and why isn't just okay, I'm gonna buy this airline stock, which is to my eyes going good, like the company and stuff. Why isn't that easy? So he started talking to me, and he told me to read a book about Warren Buffett. So he gave me this book, and I read it, and that's how I started getting involved in this whole market and investment world.
So how long because that's kind of fascinating. You went from Chile to Australia kind of on your quest for what you want to do.
Yeah.
So how long did all that take before you kind of arrived at the conclusion, these things just aren't really paying what I would want to pay, and there's got to be, a better way. What sort of time span was that?
It took 1 year. Yeah.
Okay.
From the minute I went to Australia with this idea in mind of wanted to get involved with medias and making videos. I was making some videos till the point I got back and got this job. It was a year, when I started learning about the stock market. Okay,
so going back to that, you talked to your dad's friend who's a doctor. He says, hey, read this book on Warren Buffett. So did you read the book? And if so, kind of walk us through what did the book tell you? Did you really gain anything out of the book? Kind of pick it up from there.
Okay, yeah, I gained lots of it, of knowledge about what was investing, and when I started researching Warren Buffett and seeing videos of him, he's a great guy, and I told to myself, oh, this guy is not just a good investment person, is also a philanthropist and stuff. So I got interested in him and started reading more about his philosophy. And started watching some online videos that teach you how to invest his way. So I watched a whole free course videos on his way of investing. And I read 3 more books about his way of investing. Is value investing? That's the name. Value investing.
Right. So it sounds like you didn't ever actually have those visions of grandeur of living in a mansion in the next 6 months or something like that. So you never had you were trying to get rich and live on a beach or anything like that? You didn't have any of those feelings?
Yeah. No. Not that. None of those feelings. I was just, not non-rich feelings.
There you go. Just trying to kind of keep it realistic, which is obviously a good way to kind of set yourself up for success. So you're reading about value investing. You've read a couple books. You've gone through some online courses now. So did you start kind of putting your money into the market now? Were you starting to kind of search out for companies that you think were a little beaten down and you wanted to put your money in?
Yeah, I started making a spreadsheet on Excel and like putting all this together and started reading fundamentals of companies. So trying to understand and putting all the things I've learned into practice. And I started realizing that I would have need that I don't know how to say it properly, but I'll need more money than the one that I had.
So you would need to make it worth your time. You would need quite a bit more money than what you had. Is that what you're kind of getting at there?
Yeah, right.
Okay.
To get some profits.
To make it worth your while, to generate profit, you would need more than what you had. Yep, that makes sense.
Yeah. So I was struggling with that, and seeing the amount of time it consumed me.
Tell us about that. What the amount of time it consumed you? Because this goes back to my point when I always tell people, I'm like, look, I'm lazy. That's why I like charts, because I'm like lazy. Like I'll just look at a chart and there we go. So, but you were on the other end. You were doing fundamental stuff. So I find that it was very time consuming. So I mean, talk more about that. I mean, how long were you spending and what were you doing that took so long and so much of your time?
I started researching a company in Chile that makes wines, and they export wine to many countries, Europe and the US also. It's called Conchitoro, and they are very big. So I started calling the investments relators. I don't know the
investor relations.
Asking them questions, reading their financials, and trying to get to conclusions to which price was the best to buy and stuff. But it took me a lot and lots of numbers and analysis, and I said, whoa, this is lots of work. So I started like getting kind of overwhelmed with all the work that had to be done in order to take a good decision. You have to get to know the company very good, and that's what Buffett said. He said like, I read like 20 financial reports a day and always reading the newspaper, and I want to get to know the company very good so I have an idea how they work and stuff. So I said, it's going to be a lot of work, and I started getting a little bit overwhelmed. That's the thing. And
how long are you talking? Like, were you doing 2 hours a day, 3 hours a day? I mean, how many hours per day or per week were you putting into this research? So like you said, to form a good decision, how much time went into quote unquote forming a good decision?
I think I had a job at the moment, so I changed jobs. Went from this agency to working in a newspaper like an engineer in order to get like to see if I liked the job and get more money in the payment.
Mucho dinero, right?
Yeah, mucho dinero.
I was telling Nicolas, before we started, I said, look, I took 4 years of Spanish in high school, so we're probably going to have my quote unquote, fluid Spanish throughout this entire podcast, just because I can't help myself. So anyway, sorry to butt in there, but it's just that. So thank you for humoring me and just laughing, because that makes me feel a little bit better, because I know I'm not very good at Spanish. But so you wanted to get more money with engineering. Sorry to cut you off, but keep on going.
Yeah. In order to like make have my savings. So I spent like 2 hours studying all this stuff and watching the tutorials and reading. I spent a lot of time. Every time I got from work, I spend like from 7 p.m. to 9 p.m. 3 hours a day studying and watching videos. And I wanted to watch them all, so every day I watched a video and stuff. In order to like get to that point where I could start researching a company with fundamentals. I would say like 3 hours a day after a job.
Well, that's good, because you obviously you got a passion for it. You know what you're looking for, and you want to be very good at kind of your trade and your craft. So So you're doing all this. You have all this kind of, you're laying all the groundwork now. Now I want to hear about when you start actually putting money into the market. How did that immediately go? Because that's usually a telltale sign for me immediately if things go, oh, I made a lot of money really quickly, or things just didn't work right away. How did it go for you?
Yeah, I went to eat with some friends, and a friend told me, "Hey, I have a friend that's a friend of my brother who is making something called trading, and he's doing very good. He invited his whole family to vacations, and he is like 22 years old." I said, "Whoa, what? Please give me his contact or something." And he gave me a web page. It was a blog he was writing. So I entered the blog and started reading about what he did. I read the whole blog and I went to the part where he spoke about where did he learn all of this. And there were two references. So the first one was a trader that's very cocky about his trading, and he like spills money all over the place and give away watches and Ferraris and stuff. And the other one was you. So
Oh, really?
yeah,
Oh, that's
so it said like all of thanks to this guy and you.
That's
So
a wide spectrum. That's a wide spectrum from Ferrari guy to Clay in his shorts walking across his driveway.
Yeah,
so
very different.
Just so I understand, so you heard from like a friend of your brother, so like a friend of a friend about this thing called trading.
It was a friend of my friend's brother. Yeah.
Okay, friend of your friend's brother.
Yeah.
And you heard this guy was doing very well with trading.
Yeah.
So you wanted to talk with this guy about how he was doing well with trading.
Yeah, I sent him.
So you went and talked to him, and then he said, "Well, check out this blog." So then you went to somebody else's blog, or was it his blog that you read?
No, his blog.
Okay, so then you go to his blog, and then on his blog he mentioned another trader, which you gave very good clues about, and then myself.
Right.
Huh. I wonder if are you like? Can you what blog is this?
It's a blog. Is
it in Chile? Just
it's in Chile. Yeah, I don't think it's well known. Just in Chile, they started a company of traders. They give alerts and stuff. So you pay. Yeah, it sounds familiar, right? Well,
yeah,
they give alerts and.
Well, to whoever this person is, I'm glad you found value in the education that we provide here. So anyways, you check out the blog. He names one person that, like you said, is pretty cocky, and then the other person was myself. So where did your journey go from here?
Yeah, I went to the webpage of the cocky guy and started like seeing his videos, and I said, this guy is weird, like too much like, I have a lot of money and I'm rich and stuff, and I said, okay. So even though I had like that feeling, I wrote him, and I even got to an interview because they offered a kind of tutorial based like trading, so you could trade with them, and I got interviewed by a guy who worked with him, and it all like gave me bad feeling. And they asked me for I don't know, I don't remember.
Why did it give you a bad feeling? I'm fascinated. So you got an interview, and describe more about this. What was giving you this bad feeling? Because a lot of people need to hear this.
They were like very money oriented.
In terms of they want your money, right?
Yeah, kind of that way. So they told me like, I don't know, this course is this amount, and they didn't gave me much attention to the course itself, but about like I don't know, the amount and it seemed like too easy. I said like, well, the obvious stuff, like why isn't there more people doing this? Like, so it gave me a feeling, and he sends me lots of emails like get rich soon and stuff, and I said like, no, get away from this guy. So I went to your webpage then, and I saw like you put there, be your own boss, and that sounded much more realistic than just be rich in a minute.
Yeah, because there's a
And
difference between being rich overnight and actually, being your own boss and making money for yourself. So there's a
yeah,
drastic difference, and I'm glad you kind of recognize that. I've actually heard horror stories similar to yours where these people do a quote unquote interview, and what they're really probing for is to see how much money you have in your account, so they can tell you
oh,
that you need this and this and this and the max. They'll pretty much try to spend your entire account first. Yeah, so that, but like you said, it seemed like they had no care in the world for what you wanted or what you needed to learn. They just want to know, this is how much money it is, and pay up, and we'll send you whatever. But yeah,
yeah, right.
obviously it's a good thing you have a very good kind of compass to realize that you had a bad feeling about it. So we're glad that kind of worked out the way it did. So
Yeah.
you find Clay Trader. I think he definitely goes for the more realistic approach as to, if you want to do the hard work, you can definitely make money. He's not driving around in a Ferrari. At least I haven't seen it. I mean, I know in Michigan, the Ferrari handles great in the wintertime, but
It does, yeah.
yeah. But so you found this website, you feel a little better about it. Where you go from here?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, so I went to the through the web page and started seeing his free videos, your free videos about what courses you should take and stuff, and also pictures of your family, which I found great. Like this guy is showing me pictures of his family and talking about being his own boss. That's the main goal, like not getting rich, but making, like you said, Chezz, making your own money. Doesn't matter how much, like just being proud of making your own money that way. So I watched these videos and I said, okay, I'm gonna buy this penny stock survival guide just to see what these penny stocks are, because they were all over the place and I wanted to know what they were. So that was the first course I bought, and I said, okay, I'm gonna invest in this, and it's not too expensive. So I had the money, so it was like the worst case scenario. I don't like it and I don't buy any other one. So I that's the next step I took, and I watched the whole course like very tried to watch it very fast because it was very good. And after watching that course, I said, well, penny stocks are kind of very um very dangerous stuff to go into.
What, out of curiosity, what had you interested in penny stocks in the first place? Was it this cocky trader that was kind of took you down the penny stock rabbit hole, or was there something else that led you into penny stocks? But
It, yeah, it was a blog of this friend I told you about.
oh,
He
okay,
traded penny stocks. He was penny stock oriented, and he in his blog he put lots of pictures about how much the profits were, like 150%, and say, whoa, like he talked all of this is because penny stocks are, and blah blah blah. So I wanted to know what penny stocks were.
okay, no, that makes sense. So you invested in the penny stock survival guide course. You go through it, and then I like the word you use. Penny stocks are dangerous. A very good, a very one word, but it summarizes a lot. So you determine, all right, these are not for me. So then where did you go from that point? Because you were thinking penny stocks. Now penny stocks are a no go. So where did you head at this point?
Yeah. Then I said I'm gonna take the whole path you advise people to go through. Like take this course first and this other one. And I said, okay, I'm gonna follow this advice, and I'm gonna buy course by course. I don't want to buy them all because I would get like, whoa, I have lots to do. So I want to go one by one and finish one and then pass to the other one. So the next course I took was Robotic Trading, and that was a very good one because it opened me like, well, this is what candles are and how you read a chart and stuff. And I started getting, I watched also your live trade videos, and I started like understanding them. It was very, very good to
It's
take that course. Yeah.
Yeah, it's drastically different going from a value investor and calling investor relations and looking up their financial paperwork to kind of watching Clay sit down. He's like, "Oh, look at this crazy rubber band right here," and buying here and selling here. So yeah, it's drastically different. And like Clay said, it's not that you're lazy, Clay. It's just that you like to find the best way to get all the information possible very, very quickly. So yeah, candlesticks and charting is a drastically different than going through paperwork.
I try to be efficient with all us chart players. We're just not lazy, but we're efficient with our time. That's probably the best way to put it. So you're learning about charts and all that sort of stuff. And that's a good suggestion. So you found it helpful to watch the live trade videos in conjunction with robotic trading. That helped you out quite a bit.
Yep. I could see like understanding the charts, and I found it like also entertaining, because this is a thing that I got to like understand later about, like, I used to play lots of games, and charts are kind of this, like, being watching something that's changing, and you have to have strategy and stuff. So very similar to that. So I found it really entertaining as well.
So that's a key word there, is entertaining, in the sense of not entertaining because, you can make a whole bunch of money, but entertaining because you liked the strategy aspect of it. Kind of like you said, it's like a game. It's like a challenge. And Chezz and I have,
that's right,
hammered this, principle home time and time again. If you're getting into the markets because you watch, this cocky trader and all he talks about is how you can get rich and drive the fancy cars and all this sort of stuff, that's just, you're going to burn yourself out, because the time required to get to that point, it's just not there. But if you get in what you, just perfectly said, because, it's like the charts are kind of like a game, and it's like a big strategy, and you got to figure things out. That tells me you're getting into it because you like the challenge of it. You like to try to figure it out. And if you're a longtime listener, I realize we beat that dead horse quite a bit, but it really is a massive, massive telltale sign of, if you're going to truly have any sort of chance at success. Because if you get in this with the wrong motivations and you're just, blinded by the lust of greed, it's just, you're going to end up turning into a degenerate gambler, and it's not going to work out. So you like the challenge, you like kind of the quote unquote game. So did you, finish up robotic trading? Where did you go from that point?
I went to master level 2s. Very good one. I learned a bunch of this, like, auction kind of way to seeing it. So it made lots of sense. That was the other course I took. And then after finishing that one, I said, okay, I'm gonna need to save some money in order to try this. So I took the cash flow creation guide.
Nice.
Yeah.
the little $29 course that nobody ever, I don't know, that poor
nobody ever watches.
Yeah, it's like probably the most important and most practical course out there, but it's just, so hey, thank you for taking the little
you're welcome, but
the little redheaded stepchild.
Yeah, I didn't finish it though. It was the only one I didn't finish.
Well, thanks a lot. So anyway, I appreciate the honesty. Fantastic.
Yeah. It was because I thought I had that already, but if you don't have it, it's good to watch it.
No, that makes sense. I can definitely understand what you're talking about. If some people already, have kind of the systems in place, and if you do, then that's totally fine.
Some people are completely oblivious and spend $15 on every single meal that they go out for every day. So but anyways, I'm not going to spoil the course. It's a good course. So you go through that course now, obviously, and I love the fact that you're just kind of going course by course, and you're kind of keeping yourself busy. You realize you got to save up. You go through some of the course about how to save up. Now, do you actually save up and fund an account, or are you going to save up and put more into your education?
Actually, let me, because I'm curious at this point, Chezz. Have you made any trades yet with real money?
No.
Have you?
No
So
trade.
you haven't put any money into the market at all, not even when you're investing?
No.
Wow, Chezz, we have a rare occasion here.
I love him doing the work up front. I love this. This is so rare, and I didn't have the patience for it, but I'm glad you did. So it's awesome.
And nor did I. I did not have the patience either, and I definitely had to learn the hard way. So in all seriousness, this is definitely a rare occurrence. So not a single penny has been put into the market yet. But to then follow up, and that's why I want to cut Chezz off, because this is really you're kind of like royalty. Guests like you are like, wow, this is kind of like a Sasquatch running through the forest. It's like, oh, they do exist. But anyways, but to Chezz's question, you said, I want to save up.
That's the question.
So you saved up, and I mean, was that for more education, or were you wanting to actually, get into the market?
I was saving up because, I wanted to buy more courses, and I could see myself in the future, like quitting my job and making this for a living. So I knew I need quite a bit of like savings to make this like being with also peace of mind. So I like took my time, and I said, okay, I have to be patient and just continue learning in the meanwhile, and watching videos, and like imagining I was doing it, kind of seeing your live trade videos, and that's the way I took it.
Awesome. So we'll fast forward a little bit. So
okay.
Did you take all the courses? Did you sign up for Clay Trading University? What exactly?
I took, so after cash flow, I took skill sharpening, and I made all the exercises. I printed them, and before you gave up the answers, I tried to make them myself and then compare and stuff.
Nice.
Then RBR. Then I wrote you about, should I take shorting for profit, because I don't know if I'm gonna short, and you told me it's better you to understand both ways. So I took that one, and then I started like thinking, okay, I'm gonna need like quite a bit of savings to get involved in stocks, because the ones you traded, I started making my calculations and said, okay, so I would need this. I didn't know nothing about margins, but I didn't like the idea of them borrowing me money. So after I took then the option simplified, that course like it's told me, you can make this with not that much savings. So that was the course after all this learning that was like very encouraging.
And the thing is, and would you agree that the options course is great, but if you don't have all those other charting courses, then the options is kind of worthless, because you still, for options, have to be able to answer the question, well, what direction do I think the price is going to go? And if you have no idea how to answer that question, then options itself are pretty worthless. So, I mean, are you glad that you took all those other courses before the options course?
Glad. Very glad. Yeah, you have to follow that path in order to understand them. Yeah, because as you said, you need all those basics and fundamentals to understand them. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, because a lot of times, and Chezz, I'll let you comment on this too, but people, kind of always just want to jump straight into the options course. And Chezz, actually, I mean, why is that such a problem? And I know because you discuss a lot of potential problems, but I mean, if somebody's first course is options, that really presents kind of a conundrum.
It's a conundrum is a good way to put it, because obviously people see kind of the gains that are possible with options, but they totally like to kind of put earplugs in their ears to the fact that we tell them, you have to understand that options are a vehicle. You still have to understand trading a chart. We don't care if you trade options, you trade futures, whatever you want to trade. You have to understand what makes the price move of it. And if you don't understand what makes the options prices move, then you're kind of in the dark. So I've actually dealt with people, a few people in the community, and this isn't to like throw them under the bus or anything. It's just that, they got overly excited and went with the options course first. They take the options course, and then they're like, well, I keep buying and it's going down, and I don't know what I'm doing. And I go, well, what other courses did you take? They go, well, I didn't take anything yet. I'm like, so do you know how to read charts or manage your risk? And they're like, no. I'm like, well, you really need to know those two things first. And I'm not trying to like lead people into like, oh, well, to do this, you need to buy like 4 other things. It's just, there's a simple path, in my opinion, and I think everyone would agree with it, is you need to understand how to read the charts, because if that's going to be your tool to kind of make money, you have to know that. You have to know how to manage your risk. That's the second thing. And then you can learn how to do options, and you can do all 3 together, and then you can make a good amount of money if you do it correctly. But a lot of people get excited.
Yeah, and just to make sure that, I don't want anybody to accuse, this is a sales pitch. You know what? To be honest, you don't even need to use charts to have success with options. The only thing that matters for options is you have to be able to answer the question, what direction do I think the price is going to do? If you can answer that question by going out on your deck and looking up at the stars and reading star patterns and being like, okay, I think the price is going to go that direction, then you can use options. That's fine. If you want to use fundamentals to figure out, to answer the question, what direction do I think the price is going to go, then fine, use fundamentals. We just use charts around here. But at the end of the day, like Chezz was saying, whether it's futures or Forex or options or stocks, at its core, to be a trader, you have to be able to answer that question, what direction do I think the price is going to go? And options have nothing to do with that. Options are a way to make money after you make that decision, but options are not going to teach you how to, reach the answer to that question. So, we're all a little biased. We all use charts around here. So I think charts is a very efficient way to go about that, especially as you already heard about the time commitment that, Nicolas was dealing with, trying to do all the Warren Buffett stuff. But so you found options, and like you said, it was very encouraging for you. Did you hop right in afterwards, or
I watched the whole course, and then I said, okay, now I have like my savings. I've been working for quite a bit of time, so it's time to buy. Like, this guy's like legit, and he knows what he's talking about, and I've learned a lot from the courses. So it's time to buy university. So after I bought like almost all the courses like by themselves, I bought university. So this was in the first course I bought, it was on September the 2014, and I bought university on January 15 to 2015.
Okay, so that was about 4 months there.
5 months.
5 months. Okay.
Yeah. Just learning.
So now you're university. Let's get to the good stuff though. When did you actually start to put? Because I remember some emails and stuff that you sent me. When did you start to get to the actual trades? With real money. Or actually, I'm shame on me. Did you do any paper trading? And if so, how much paper trading did you go through? And then we'll get to the fun stuff, which is talking about real money. But paper trading, I guess I was just a living example there of it's kind of boring. So it's definitely important. So let's talk about it. Did you do much paper trading?
I opened my account on March the 2015 on TOS Ameritrade. So I made I made paper trades. I wanted to know how the software worked, and I made some paper trade like for a month before making a real trade. Yeah.
Okay, so it was none of this. Okay, I finished the courses. Now I just hop straight into real money. You did paper trade, so that's important. So now you decide, you know what? Let's put some of this money on the line. You've been saving. You've definitely been, working hard and, investing into your education. So you start to go live with real money. So talk to us about that first trade, hopefully it's green.
No, it was not green.
That's
I traded on April. Apple. So I bought 3 calls.
Okay, so options trading you're doing then.
Yep. What?
Okay. You're doing options trading then. You're not.
Yeah,
okay.
I went to options right from the beginning, and I bought 3 calls, and I lost $33.
Well, that sounds
we can live with that. We can live with that as a first loss. I was waiting for him to say like I lost $330 and I was completely distraught right away. No, $33 is an absolutely amazingly well risked on 3 contracts. That's that's a great loss.
That's better than any. To be honest, that's better than any winning trade. Because if you start off with a loss, but it's a controlled loss, that tells me that you understand the whole thing about risk management. But to Chezz's point, especially with 3 contracts. Only at $33 loss, I'll take that all day. All right, I'm getting pumped. My adrenaline's starting to flow. So, all right. So, but let me ask this, though. You took the loss, and it's your first trade. Were you mad? Let's talk a little psychology here. Did you want to quit? Did you want to just go back to studying? Or did you understand that this is part of the game?
No.
Where were you at emotionally after your first trade with real money after all this time, and it's a loss?
Yeah, I knew that. I watched tons of videos of your videos, so I said this is totally normal. The win trade's gonna come, and it will, because I'm confident that I know what I'm doing. So it's just part of the game. And I also
Chezz, I'm gonna start crying. I'm sorry to cut you off, but this is preach it, bro. If more just new traders could just have that, Chezz, this is beautiful stuff here, right? That outlook.
This is more than beautiful. And I hate to say it, but I just wish more people would listen. But Nicolas literally listened and did everything pretty much by the book. And you're hearing that his first trade was a loss, and everyone goes, "Oh man, he did all this work and his first trade was a loss." He lost $33. I know people who spend more than that when they go to like walk into the grocery store while they're hungry. So I mean, I'm tearing up with you as well. I don't have any more words.
And he knows that a winner's coming. He's confident in himself still. So all right. So the first trade's a loser, $33. All right. Keep going. What's up next?
Yeah. So I found in my account with I said I'm gonna put $2,000, and I'm not gonna put more. And I'll have this money to actually train myself. Being there, having those feelings and the voices in the head, like I wanted the whole real thing. So I started making trades, and I have like this spreadsheet where I put all of my trades, and just to have like the history. And the other 4 trades that came were losses as well, but $19, $30, and $19.
Oh, that's beautiful. So, I mean, was that even $100 total of losses?
It was 100. Yeah. $100
across like 5 different trades.
Yeah,
I mean,
so your first day is red by $100 on a $2,000 account. So you still got $1,900 to work with. So,
yeah.
I mean, what happened the next day? I mean, is it more red or keep going here?
Oh yeah, I started like getting my green trades, but I was waiting for the home run. I knew it was kind of time thing, and also like I had to learn how to do it better. I wrote my mistakes and what things I had to improve, and yeah, so I continue like that, like making one trade a day and not.
What were your
not
mistakes?
losing much.
You said you wrote down some mistakes. Can you share maybe a mistake or two with us, just out of curiosity? And I'm sure people can probably relate to some of these mistakes that you made early on.
Like my first mistakes were like pattern mistakes. Like I got in going long in breakdown of a pattern. Like so I remember I wrote you and you told me, yeah, but that's not that good because you got in when the pattern broke down for going long. So I said, yeah, that's right. Those were my first mistakes. And then like the mistake I struggled more with is the anxiousness of getting into a trade. So I started like getting into trades just because I wanted to be in the trade before the price hit my point. I didn't wait for it to do that, so I got anxious.
You ever been there, Chezz? That's how I feel like I can relate to that personally.
I was gonna say, it's amazing once money is on the line, how that is a completely normal feeling to have, especially in the beginning. Like, how I can't be sitting here flat. My money isn't making any money for me. Like, I have to have money in the market, and half the time, probably I'd say at least 60-70% of the time, the market has not a lot of opportunity. You're patience is such a hard thing to learn, and I can assure any listeners, especially the new listeners or new traders in general, it does get easier. I promise you trading gets more boring. It's still great to have like great winners, but I can assure you that trading gets more boring, and it's a good thing to happen too. It's not a bad thing.
Yes, boringness is a good thing in trading. If you're like, oh man, I'm like flying by the seat of my pants, that's not good. That's reckless trading, and that's how trading should not be. So, the more you are bored, the more successful you are becoming in your mindset and probably your discipline. Because I'll be perfectly honest. There's some days I am bored out of my mind, but that's what makes a chat room nice to have, because at least you can go and just joke around and talk about all sorts of stuff we do in the chat room. Because sometimes there's just nothing out there. So you struggle a little bit with the patterns and entry points. You're feeling very anxious. So I mean, did things get better, or I mean, walk us.
Things like I made this all from work. In the meanwhile, I worked. Like I got in and I was always watching charts and make the trades. So that also gave me more pressure than the one that I needed, because I was in work doing this. So I was like, okay, I gotta be quick. I gotta I gotta like people. I hope people don't watch me and stuff like that. That kind of way. But I made my work, even though it was like I knew I had to make it kind of quick though. So I was this way until I traded like for 4 months. This 4 months this way. Yeah. No, 3 months. I was like making this stuff this way, my trades, and I took like one day of my vacations in order to try this from home, being totally calm with no pressure, so I could see how this was actually in the real, like imagining myself doing this. So, like this 3 months passed, and I've lost $1,000 from my like 50% of my account.
And the interesting thing here, and a lot of people, that's the thing, was you can have a job and be a trader, but like you're saying, if you're having a job with all the little stresses of, okay, I have only a certain amount of time to trade because I have to go and do my work. Well, now all of a sudden you're putting yourself in the pressure chamber of forcing trades because, well, I only have a certain amount of time, so therefore I have to make a trade within this time period. And if there's nothing available to trade during that time period and you're just hopping in because that's the only time you have, that's just not going to lead to very many good things. So I can't say, given those circumstances that you were trading under for those 3 months, I thought it was going to be even more than 50% because that's just a recipe for disaster.
Yeah, it was
when you quote unquote have to make trades because I have a meeting in 10 minutes or my boss is going to show up in 15 minutes or,
right.
It's just, that's a disaster to try to be a day trader with those kind of time constraints.
Yeah. So it was funny. I was trading and people came to my workplace and they told me, "Hey, what's that?" It's like an airplane commanding system. It's like an airport. Are you like, what are you doing, man? And I had to explain them because otherwise I would have been rude to them. So that took me time and stuff. And sometimes they came when I was in the trade and they told me, "Man, I need this." And I was like, just wait a minute. Can you wait a minute? I'm like,
yeah, leave me alone. Get out of here.
So that was very not good environment to trade in, and I said,
that sounds terrible.
Yeah. So afterwards, like finally after those 3 months, I got my home run trade, and I was like, okay, yeah, I thought, okay, I'm finally like getting the flow of it, and yeah, this. You can have home runs, but the thing is to be consistent on little wins and cutting losses soon. Yeah, I had lots of losses that became more big because I had to cut them before. Like I remember one that could have been $25 loss, and it ended up being $190.
Ooh.
Yeah, just because I hoped the price would go my way.
Yeah,
you heard the word hope there.
Yeah.
And we both, Chezz has been there. I've been there. We can always look back and say, crap, if I would have done what, the rule said I should have done, if I would have done what I've learned, that would have been, X amount of loss. But because I let emotions, slip in, now it's a much bigger loss. So we've definitely all been there. And it's so we can totally relate. So where are you right now in your trading? Are you, actively trading options still? But, let's get to present day at this point. Yeah. Where do things stand at this point in time?
I decided to change brokers because the commission was very high, and I made my calculation. I said, okay, $1.5 a trade, an option contract buy, it's too much. So I started researching Lightspeed, and I said, okay, I'm gonna save some money to open a Lightspeed account in order to lower those commissions. And so I saved the money while I was working, and I opened my Lightspeed account on April this year.
And how have things been going since you opened that Lightspeed account and got those better commissions?
Very good. Things are going good because I said, okay, now I have this open. I invested quite a bunch of money in opening this, so I have to make this good. So I took from my vacations, I took 5 days a week in order to make this from home, to try this, yeah, like real time and all. So that week I stayed from home working just like I imagined myself doing it, and the week was good, and I ended up $600 in those 5 days. Yeah.
Very, very nice. 600. So you basically wiped away. Go ahead, Chezz.
I was gonna say he almost wiped out his entire 3 months of losses in the first week of coming back, regrouping, and applying himself and taking it very seriously.
And not being surrounded, like you said, you weren't at work, so you didn't have. I got a meeting, or these people calling up. Hey, what are you doing? Are you? Yeah. Is this an airplane? None of that stuff. I mean, it's amazing. That's why. Swing trading with a day job, all right, that's fine. But if you are trying to do micro scalping as a day that's a dangerous. It's nasty because that's funny though. Hey, is this an airplane? Hey, get out of here! I'm in a trade. Like, leave me alone. I don't want to explain this to you right now. So, but amazing. You are at home. There's no other distractions. You can be laser focused in. $600. So that was the first week though. From then, things are still going well right now.
Yeah, so that first week ended up like it was good until the last minute that I had a problem, and I because of the anxiety thing that I kind of have to work on. But it was like because I was I got distracted, so I made a huge mistake. I bought on my last day on Friday. I said, okay, why don't I make one last trade so I can finish my week whole better? So I went into my computer and it was 3:30, and I said, okay, I'm gonna buy. It was Tesla. It was making a breakdown. So I said, I want to play this pattern, like cliff point breakdown. So I entered the trade and I bought two puts for $1,250. The two puts, and I was watching it going my way, and I said, cool, yeah, it's gonna be a good trade. And suddenly the software like stopped, and I said,
so a software problem here.
No, it was not the software, but the chart stopped, like
internet connection, some kind of issue. Yeah,
and I said like, this is bad, and I realized that the market closed. And so yeah, you can figure out what happened.
I've been there. I did that last week, actually. I was like, what was that bell noise I just heard? Oh, my closing order didn't go through. Oh, man.
So I was so mad at myself because I got distracted and I thought the market closed at 4:30, and I thought, I just didn't remember, and I remember talking to Hooch or everyone, like I could get help from the chat room, and Hooch told me, don't worry, man, they should have sell those contracts for you, so you should be okay. Another one told me, don't worry, I think you are okay, man. But I have my account on cash account. I don't have margins, so I'm not able to short. So the whole story ended up in the broker they weren't able to like execute my puts because I was not able to short stocks. So I ended up losing all the money, and my whole week changed in my last 2 minutes.
Oh man. And
he was trading puts that expired that day. Yeah, and except his account is on cash, so he can't actually short. So the broker is just like, well, that's gone. Goodbye.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it was literally an instance of you were green, and then, wow, that's kind of a buzzkill. Yeah, but
it was.
Thank you for sharing, because I'm not gonna lie, that's kind of embarrassing, kind of for you, but that just really shows that we all make stupid mistakes, and I'm sure you'll never,
I'll never
not remember this, but to think that And correct me if I'm wrong, what you said, the trade was also going in your favor, right?
Yep. Yeah.
So you're making money on this thing. This is great. It's going in my favor. Fantastic. And then just like that everything changed. Just because a mental error of thinking the market was going to close a half an hour later than what it did. So I have a feeling that you now know when the market closes. You'll probably never forget.
I have a window open on my Chrome that says the time. Very big now.
Nice. Yeah. Well, good. Well, thank you for sharing because
no problem.
You wiped away, but that was just man, that sucks. Yeah. But it is what it is. But I mean, as it stands right now, you're still. I mean, are things going well then with your trading and everything?
Yeah. So after this week and getting aside with this issue I had, I said, okay, I can make this. So I decided to quit my job. I had said, okay, I've saved all the money I needed. I watched a video of yours like saying, I advise you to save, I don't know, a year's.
Yep.
A year's like.
Yeah, of cost of expenses.
That's right. So I saved a year and a little bit more, and I
good
had
for you. Somebody that can save money. Good.
Yeah.
Well done,
I live
sir.
with my parents,
Seriously.
so I don't have like my cost of living is it's not big, so it's very little. So I was able to save quite a bit of saving some money. Yeah.
So you're full-time trading, and I mean, is money still coming in? Are you doing all right with it?
Yeah, I just quit my job last week, so now I'm getting all these things.
Oh, okay. So gotcha.
You're still falling into the groove.
Yeah, I'm gonna start trading next week. I'm getting all these things ready, and they like when I said I was gonna quit my job, they like tried to make me work more than before. Like they wanted to. For me to close all my things, so I had to work like full time on the job. Wasn't able to make any trades at all.
Okay, so when you gave kind of your 2 weeks notice, they all of a sudden piled on the work to you, pretty much.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Well, that was nice of you to give them a heads up warning rather than just straight up, quitting at one point. So, well, that's awesome. And I mean, with that, we'll kind of wrap things up. So you're going full time. We'll definitely have to have you back at some point in the future. And to hear how things are going. But well, congratulations on the saving, on the learning, and obviously you're doing well with trading up until that point. Besides that one little, the market closes at 4 Eastern time. But
mistakes.
Now, you're well aware of this because before we started, you mentioned that you've listened to many of the podcasts. But Chezz has a time machine. So if Chezz were to lend you this time machine and you could go back to the start, I'm actually Chezz. This is going to be interesting because he really didn't do anything.
No,
wrong.
He did it by the book, exactly how it was supposed to do it.
So I don't know how you're going to answer this. You kind of just screwed yourself by being so if you could go back to the start, what bit of advice would you give yourself?
Yeah, I was thinking about these questions, I realized, I made this thing like by the book, as you said. Yeah. So, maybe, if I had that time machine, I would have wished I found this before.
Okay. We can accept that.
And I wish I would have become more interested in this before. Yeah, that's
okay. That makes sense. Hey, check out the stock market thing a little bit sooner. So that's a good answer. So, Chezz, I'm going to let you kick things off into the fun questions here. This is, I know, your favorite part.
This is my favorite part. So the only question that really matters to Clay, though, of course, is what is your favorite movie? I'm going to be interested to hear the answer for this one.
Yeah, Avatar.
Oh, nice.
That's a good one. Yeah, there you go.
Very nice. Yeah. Now, this is kind of forgive my American ignorance here, but so you watch Avatar down in Chile. Is it in English or is it just English with Spanish subtitles? How exactly does that work? Because I don't know. In some countries, English is like taught in schools growing up, so I don't know if. But
no. Here in Chile, all the movies are with subtitles.
Okay.
All of them. Yeah.
Now you speak very good English. So is English taught in like the Chilean school system, or how did you learn English so well?
Yeah, it's taught in the schools, but not all of them. My mom wanted me to learn good English, so she put me in an English school, very very good one with good English, not the best school, not at all, but with good English. Yeah.
Well, I well done to your.
I mean, you're here doing a
madre.
podcast in English, so yeah, it's pretty good. Yeah, that's pretty good.
And I've been told I talk kind of fast once in a while, and you're definitely keeping up with things. So and all that. I see. I'm trying to think even just the smallest of Spanish.
Just trying to do
Muy
a phrase
bien.
here.
There's what I was trying to say. Muy bien, mi amigo.
Gracias,
Muy
gracias.
bien. So, yeah. See, I could just ask him about Chile because that's what I'm most interested in. But maybe in another podcast. What about favorite? This is a good. What do you like to? What's your favorite food? I don't know what the specialties are down there, but what do you like to put back when it's time to eat?
If I can go to a restaurant, I would like to eat Indian food.
Interesting.
I like the spices and the flavors. They're very intense.
Yeah, that they are. Do you have any Indian food out there by you, Clay?
Maybe I don't know.
Yeah.
If we do, it's not like well known or anything. We do have an Ethiopian place. I have eaten Ethiopian food once. That was interesting.
There you go. So, Nicolas, what's a place you'd like to visit someday?
I would like to be in Indonesia, those islands. Yeah, I like surfing, so I want to make a surf trip in the near future.
So you like to be shark bait, huh?
No, not at all.
Did you do any surfing in Australia or no?
What?
Did you do any surfing in Australia?
Yeah.
Awesome.
You are
Yeah,
crazy. You're a
surfing
madman.
out
Like
there.
I'm pretty sure that's the breeding ground of all great white sharks is Australian coast. Like, did you even use a surfboard, or you just hop on the back of a great white and say, "I'm gonna"? That
Yeah, sharks are I'm very afraid of them. Yeah.
have you ever
We don't
seen
have
any
them
when
in
you're out
Chile.
surfing?
What?
Have you ever seen any sharks when you're out surfing?
No, thank God. I would be like.
This is blowing my mind. The guy is scared of sharks, yet he's going surfing. My
It's risk
circuits are
versus
shorting
reward.
Right now. This is
Yeah, no. But like I know they are rare, the attacks, and here in Chile we don't have them. We just have like sea wolves.
That sounds
that doesn't
scary.
sound any better. I'm
You're
sorry.
not-
they,
helping it for
they
Clay.
don't do
Like
nothing.
sea
They
wolves.
just
So they drive around in packs and attack you from all different directions.
no. They just pass by you, and they're like kind of dolphins.
Kind of dolphins, except they like to eat your legs off. But besides that, you're just like. We need to have a meet and greet down in Chile. This sounds like a fantastic.
Definitely need to have one somewhere near the water so we can get you in there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh man. All right. Well, as fun as this is, it's definitely probably going on the hour mark here. But so we'll wrap things up here with the final question, which I'm sure you know is coming. But you can have 3 words, and these 3 words need to be something that you would associate with a successful trader.
Yeah. Perseverance. Definitely. Relentless.
Ooh, I like that.
And willingness. Yeah.
I like that. I don't know if we've ever had any of those. Maybe perseverance, I'm sure.
We've had
but
perseverance, but not the other 2.
yeah, very nice. So
I'm struggling with the willingness. Maybe could be also you have to be. What's the word?
I like willingness, but willingness in what sense?
To learn. Yeah, willingness to
Boom.
learn, and
Willingness to kind of maybe admit that you're going to be wrong, and you got to be okay with that. Just willingness to put your ego aside, maybe in that sort of sense.
yeah, definitely. And with the losses, like if you're losing, cut it, just fast.
Yeah, admit that you're wrong.
That's
so,
right.
Hey, there we go. A willingness to admit that you're wrong is
Yeah,
probably
that would be better.
yeah. So yeah, very nice. Well, this was a great time, and I'm not gonna lie. I'll be honest. Whenever we get when we go international, I'm always a little bit worried. Oh, great. Am I going to be able to understand? Are they going to be able to understand me? But you did. I mean, your English is great. Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah. So, like I said, your mom, she should be very proud. She made a good decision sending you to whatever school she did. Because I mean, Chezz, this was good English, right?
Yeah, it's just fantastic English.
Yeah. So I mean,
Thank you, sirs.
well done to your madre. So see, that'll be my last little Spanish thing
Gracias.
of the podcast. So thank you again for hanging out with us. And like I said, we'll definitely have you back at some later date so we can see how all this full-time stuff goes. But you're clearly in the groove. You've been in the groove, except remember, market closes at 4:00.
Yeah,
Besides
always.
that, you've been doing very well. So thank you again for hanging out with us.
An honor.
For all of you that are listening, would like to make a few final requests. If you're listening on the website, claytrader.com, click that share button, leave us comments. We do read them. We like to hear from people, and we will definitely reply. If you're listening to this on iTunes or any of the other podcast players, then leave us a rating. We really, that is helpful. It helps with the rankings and just, gets the name out there even more. So if you want us to, keep on making these, then, from the iTunes perspective, a rating can really go a long way. And then for you YouTube listeners, this is getting more and more popular on YouTube, even though that's a video site. It's kind of, anyways, off topic, but check out the channel itself. There's a lot of other videos, live trades, like we heard about today. There's chart analysis videos. There's quick tip videos. So lots more other things just besides these podcasts. So check out the channel, and hopefully you decide to subscribe. So thank you again to our guest. Thank you again to all of you as listeners. We will see you back for the next episode.
This has been the Stock Trading Reality Podcast. Thanks for taking the time to hang out. To learn more about Clay and the Clay Trader community, including the trading team, premium training, and more, visit claytrader.com.